and welcome to another episode of Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted. Tonight's episode is going to feature on a great organization here in Atlanta, Georgia. They do some great things for a lot of great people, help a lot of people get on their feet, and we're talking about the Center for Working Families here in Atlanta, Georgia. When we come back, we will discuss the Center for Working Families.
Join us here on the AIB Network Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. for a Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted. Host Roger Hunt will explore the lives of others in many arenas of our society with discussions that will inform, inspire, encourage, and enlighten those who we interact with in our daily lives. Featuring hot topics in the news, experts in their field, intimate interviews, and great entertainment. Join us for Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted on the AIB Network Thursday nights at 8:30.
Hello and welcome back to Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted. I am your host. I am at the Center for Working Families here in Atlanta, Georgia. And here again, as you know, we've spoken before that like most organizations, this one particular organization here in Atlanta does a lot of great things for a lot of great people, working families and their children, and getting help and assistance for job program training, redevelopment to get them back into the workforce, etc., etc. With me today to talk about more about what they do for the working families is none other than Ms. Shay Watkins. Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It is, and likewise good for me to be in your facility, so that the people not only in Atlanta, but this show is going to be shown in some other places as well. So can see the great work that your facility and organization does. So first of all, tell us a little bit about the Center for Working Families, and what brought you here as well too, because I understand you've been here for a while, but at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us about the organization.
So the organization is really focused on economic success for families in this area, basically ensuring that families have the ability to move up the economic ladder while they are trying to support their families.
Okay.
I came to the organization about a year ago.
Okay.
So before that I was in banking, and before that I was doing public policy work with the Metro Atlanta Chamber. So I was ready to do something that was leadership driven, but also business focused, and workforce development is certainly business focused.
So in coming here and everything, so you left a bigger corporate picture to come to nonprofit. You are a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. The type of people that you serve, are they low income, middle income? What?
The people we serve are typically low-income individuals that are sometimes difficult to place because of some of the barriers that they have. Okay. Being in the neighborhood, we have literacy challenges. A lot of folks do not have access to good transportation. Mm-hmm. Our transit system here doesn't necessarily go everywhere it needs to go, so that's a barrier. They don't necessarily have access to good child care sometimes. So all of the barriers that you could think about when dealing with folks that are in poverty areas, low poverty areas, are the things that we have to try to help our participants overcome. Okay,
and so there's a couple of programs I understand that you all have, and then with these programs, you mentioned literacy and job training, placement, things of that nature. Tell us a little bit about what I saw was 4 different programs that I mentioned on your site. Tell us a little about each of your programs that you have to kind of help people get back, from being unemployed to getting some job training and literacy and things of that nature. Kind of tell us a little bit about those as well.
So we approach that from 4 perspectives. First, you have to get people ready for the workforce. So we have a 20-day job readiness program that focuses on resume writing, interviewing skills, how to dress appropriately for the workplace. But we also talk about conflict resolution, how to communicate with your boss, how to work in a team, because those are the soft skills that companies feel like people need to have in order to be successful.
So in getting them job ready, are there potential employers that you work with prior? So let's say they're probably aware of your organization, but if you're going to get them job ready, get them some training for the interviewing process, resume writing, are there employers that you work with on a collaborative effort to kind of like, we have some people that we'll be sending to you, can you work with these people, can you give these people a chance? Is that what you do?
Absolutely. Well, we have partnerships with employers, definitely, so they know what we do and how we do it.
Okay.
So after after we get folks ready, then we have to make sure that we can get them
Place.
ready.
Okay, ready.
In terms of putting together their own plan, analyzing their skill set, and we help them figure out from a budgetary perspective, what type of job do you need right now?
Okay.
What do we need to do to make sure that you're stable? And then we coach them through a pathway coaching process to help them identify opportunities for growth. So once we get you placed in a job, we can help you actually grow in that job and find other jobs that might be better. There's certifications that you can get to get additional training for additional jobs to make more money, to help people move up the economic ladder.
Now, is it, and I know I'm staying with the job situation here, is it that some of them come in with certain skills, some of them may possess certain skills already, maybe just being unemployed, need to get reacclimated to the workforce? Do you see people come with various skill levels to be placed, and does that help in your process in trying to get these people placed and everything?
Absolutely.
Okay.
People come with a variety of backgrounds.
Okay.
So that's the beauty of the pathway coach process,
Okay.
because you treat everybody individually
Okay.
in terms of what they bring to the table, what they want to do with their future, and what we can help them get to. And that's the purpose of the coaching process, to identify that.
Okay, so then the other program that you have there?
We also have an entrepreneurship program,
Oh, wow.
a 12-week entrepreneurship program, typically for people that are looking for a second source of income,
Okay.
versus starting a business and using that as their only source of income.
Okay.
We also have asset building classes and financial literacy classes. So after you get your job, after you
Okay.
get stable, how do you save? How do you
Okay.
improve your credit? How do you do those types of things? And we also have things that we do within the community to make sure that the children in the community have access to the things that they need. For example, we have a back to school event every year where we give out 500 backpacks with supplies to children in the neighborhood so they're ready to go to school.
And I understand you have several corporate sponsors that also work with the Centers for Working Family. Tell us about your corporate sponsors. Tell us about some of them.
We typically approach our work with employers and corporations from a variety of perspectives. We like to go into a corporation and say there are many ways that you can engage with the Center for Working Families. You can help us hire by hiring some of our participants.
Okay.
You can help us by donating to the organization financially. You can help us by giving in-kind support. For example, New Rubbermaid provides in-kind support to the back-to-school event that we just talked about. And also you can provide us with volunteers that can help us do mock interviews and things like that. So we try to have a holistic approach to working with different companies in the area.
So with the volunteers, we'll go to the volunteers for a second, because I think that's key too, because sometimes a lot of people look for opportunities to do community service or what have you. So for volunteers to come into the program, are you looking for any specific skill set for them to come in and kind of work with the different levels of people that you may have?
Not necessarily a skill set, but just a desire and a willingness. We definitely have people that help us do mock interviews with our participants, and we want to provide them with a realistic scenario where they will be in an interview process and we want that person to be able to give really good feedback to our participant. We also have various events that we host, and we always need extra hands for that. So that's usually where our volunteers come, and then we have a clothing closet, so that sometimes people don't have the appropriate attire, so volunteers come all the time to provide us with clothing, specifically business clothing for our participants.
What are some of the challenges, just like any other organization, you have your valleys and your peaks and lows. What are some of the challenges that the center faces?
Money.
Being a nonprofit.
We're a nonprofit, so we are always in a fundraising mode. But also, we work with, we try to work to make sure that people understand the people that we serve. A lot of times there are different misconceptions about people that are in generational poverty, that they're lazy, or that they don't want to work, or they don't need to make as much money as people think they need to make. So we try to advocate on their behalf, especially when it comes to talking about minimum wage and what a minimum wage is versus a livable wage, that people do have a desire to work and to work hard. They just need to understand what's out there and what's accessible to them. A lot of times it's about just knowledge. Some
Mm-hmm.
people just don't know what's out there, and we try to help them see what's out there.
And speaking of wage and salary, in most of the companies that you probably partnership collaborate with wages, are they typically minimum wage? Or are they, depending on what the skill set is and what they're going in for that position, do they adjust their salary accordingly based on their skill set and mindset?
It definitely depends on skill
Okay.
set. We typically try not to place people in minimum wage positions unless they just don't have a skill set at
that's
all.
understandable.
But even if it is a minimum wage position, we help encourage them to understand that if you work hard, you show up, and you do the right thing, mobility in most cases is very, very accessible.
Right.
So that you won't be in that minimum wage position for a long time.
So now, and then hopefully we'll get to speak to some of the participants of the Center for Working Families. What's the perception for those that are coming through your program? How do they feel about the program?
From what I can tell, people enjoy the program. We have a bell that gets rung every time somebody has a success. So if they find a job, if they save a certain amount of money, they come and ring the bell and tell us all about it. And 9 times out of 10, what they say is, I wouldn't have been able to do this without the Center for Working Families.
And actually, I did speak to one of the participants out there on the side, and they said it's because of this place that they're here.
There you go.
And they actually started working here, so that's a true testament there, So, but those are always good success stories. And then as you're helping people, not only to better themselves, but to enrich their lives and their family, the children, to give them a sense of hope and stability.
And that's how you end generational poverty.
Exactly, but you have to start with a process and some procedures and stuff to get them on that road.
Absolutely.
We just want to let our viewers know that, if you're looking for an organization that you can contribute to, again, like most nonprofits, this particular organization does some great things for some great people. And we just never know when it could be us.
Absolutely.
We never know, or someone in our families or what have you. So it's always good to get involved now before it happens.
Absolutely.
And that way you're already on that level of participating, helping out, and what can I do, especially if you're looking for something to do and you just want to give and work with a great organization, whether it be on volunteerism or just coming in and just giving money. Money's good, but also, like I say, support to let them know that you're there for them.
And advocacy. We like for people to talk about us,
Right.
to talk about what we do.
And that's kind of what we're doing here on Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted. Again, when I saw this organization, I thought it's a great organization. I wanted to spotlight you all and just kind of tell the good that you do. The 1,500 residents are the people that you've helped over the course of the years. And again, because of your organization, we have some more successful and better people out there doing some greater things. And not for themselves, but for other corporations as well.
Absolutely.
So as you teach, train, develop, and grow here, we're also helping, our society as well.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about.
Nobody can be against wanting somebody to have a job and to be able to support their family and grow and develop. Who can be against that?
Exactly. Now, this community in which you're in now, because coming in, and as I told one of my crew members, I said, this is it. This is the center. I looked around and I was like, it's the neighborhood. I said, it's a good neighborhood. It's in a good location. I think, to do some great things for great people.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people are also looking, not that they necessarily want it, but at the same time looking for some service or someone to do something for us, in the sense that not they're looking for a hand up, but help to give me another chance.
Absolutely.
This is another chance. Now let me ask you this question too, and you may or may not. Do you deal with any, because somebody may be watching and saying, well, I'm a felon, I can't go through the program, they're not going to talk to me, because I hear that when I go to different places and stuff, and I usually tell, sometimes when I talk to a felon or someone has a record, I said there's still hope to just go in and see. Do you work with people that has a record?
Absolutely. There's definitely a certain percentage of our participants that do have a criminal background, from anything from drug possession to some type of felony. And a lot of folks that come out of prison come back into these neighborhoods, and we try to do whatever we can to help and assist them. And what people will not really appreciate is that there are companies out there that will hire you with a background. Some of them will do a background check, some of them will do drug checks, but they'll also think about what it was that you did and whether or not that's going to be a problem for the company.
Right.
So for Home Depot, for example, if you were in prison for theft or something like that, 9 times out of 10 they won't hire you. But more and more companies are looking to see, let's see what we can do here to be helpful.
A second chance, another start,
Absolutely.
fresh start, to do something different than what you've been doing. And again, I made a mistake.
Right.
You know, and you learn from the mistake. Now I'm ready to be a productive citizen. I want to move
Absolutely.
on.
And
So-
we have a lot of good partners that help us with that.
And
to
that's a
help
good
people
thing.
with backgrounds, to help people that may have some things on their background that they can get expunged or taken off. We have great
That's even better.
partnerships to do that.
So that's even better. So this is Straight Talk with Roger Hunt. What we're going to do, we're going to take a look at some areas of the Center for Working Families. When we come back, we'll talk more with Ms. Shay Watkins.
Join us here on the AIB Network Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. for a Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted. Host Roger Hunt will explore the lives of others in many arenas of our society with discussions that will inform, inspire, encourage, and enlighten those who we interact with in our daily lives. Featuring hot topics in the news, experts in their field, intimate interviews, and great entertainment. Join us for Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted on the AIB Network Thursday nights at 8:30.
Okay, we're back with Ms. Shay Watkins here for the Center for Working Families. Ms. Shay, I'm just calling you Ms. Shay. I know your last name is
Okay.
Watkins. It's Watkins, but Shay, we're going to be personal Shay.
Absolutely.
How can families access the programs here at the Center for Working Families? I mean, what's one of the ways they can get involved?
Basically, just walk through the door.
Okay.
No matter what you think you need or what you might need, just walk through the door. That's all we ask, and we'll help you figure out what it is that your next steps are.
Because if I looking at an organization, it's like, well, what do they do? You know, so I guess that'd be the first of really, can they help me? You know, or how do people normally typically hear about your organization? I
A
guess
lot
that
of
would
it
be-
is word of mouth in the
Okay.
neighborhood, and also we are very, very accessible in the community.
Okay.
We attend all the neighborhood meetings,
Oh, wow.
different events in the community, so that people know who we are. We always have a table set up. We're always ready to talk to somebody about what we do, and then people can come here and go through orientation and hear about everything that they have access to.
You see, I think what you just said is key, because some organizations, while they do a great service and a good deed for the people, to be accessible and to go out to the people in order to reach the people.
Absolutely.
That's key in building the success of an organization as well.
Absolutely.
And then the promoting from the people that successfully come through the program, word of mouth, true advertisement, and a testament of what the organization can truly do for individuals that are out there and seeking assistance and help.
Former participants are our biggest ambassadors.
Wow.
Because it's easy for me to go out and talk about what we do, but when it's somebody that you know that has been in your neighborhood, that you've grown up with, and they tell you, it's a completely different
Wow.
scenario.
And it speaks volumes. It speaks
Absolutely.
volumes, because if I can come through the program, yeah, man, you can do it. Yeah, girl, you know, come on through. They can help you. They can work. It doesn't matter. They can work with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how heavily, with that being said, how heavily, you guys are in the community, how heavily does the center, lean on support from collaborative partnerships?
Very much so. We are very committed to doing what we do and doing it well, but we don't want to do a lot of things that we wouldn't do well.
Right.
So, for example, if somebody comes and needs emergency housing or needs to go for mental health services or drug treatment services or something like that, we partner and collaborate with people that know how to do that and do it well.
Wow.
So that we can stay in our lane, but help people from a holistic perspective get the services that they need to be successful.
Right. Okay.
That's the only way that you can do it.
Okay. And then how can the listeners, viewers, actually reach you?
Well, always by the internet, tcwfi.org. That's
Okay.
our website. We are also on Twitter and we are also on Facebook. And if you live in the Metro Atlanta area, we are right near Turner Field, where the Braves play. So we are very accessible, and we'd love to have people come and see the organization and talk to some of the people that we serve.
Well, great. It's been my pleasure, Michelle. And before we let you go, anything that you want to tell our viewers, actually, you can just look out there and just like, this is what we need, this is what we would really like, a wish list, per se. And everything, just kind of let them know.
Well, my wish list may be a little long because I have a lot of different things, but we always need volunteers, we always need additional funding, we always need clothes for our clothes closet, and we always need for people to be advocates for people that we serve. Talk to people and make sure that they understand that everybody deserves a chance, everybody needs a chance, and once people are exposed to their opportunities, they really do thrive. So that's what I would share with everyone.
Sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
And just to share with our viewers and our listening audience the great work and service that you do. And again, it's commendable that you go out into the community.
Absolutely.
And serve the people and there for the people. There you heard it from Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted, the Center for Working Families, doing some marvelous and great things for the citizens of Atlanta, Georgia. And if you're not from Atlanta and you're coming in and you need some help and assistance trying to make it here in the city, feel free to stop by and they can assist you as well. Until the next time that we meet, this has been your host, Roger Hunt, for Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted. We'll see you next time. This show will explore and touch on the topics that may affect us directly or indirectly in some way. At the same time, it is our goal to inform, inspire, educate, as well as entertain you. With the recent events in Ferguson, Missouri over the last year, they have not been without controversy. Nonetheless, we must come and find a way whereby we can live among one another in peace without the bigotry, prejudices, and hate. However one perceives the system, we must strive and should strive to come up with viable solutions that will have a positive impact on our society. I'm standing here in St. Louis, Missouri at the mural of the late Michael Brown Jr. By the way, this episode focuses on Ferguson, Missouri, but more specifically Ferguson as it relates to various areas here in the United States. So as to say, what's really going on in Ferguson? What's going on with our society and the people that live among us?
It's a year later with the Mike Brown situation, and I guess the first question I ask everybody is do you think that things are getting better or worse in the city?
They're getting worse. Just for the simple fact that, the police nowadays, they, it's basically like a slave catcher back then that was on a horse, and a slave catcher now that's just driving with motors in their cars, you know what I mean? They killing our people and shooting them without any reason or fear of doing it. But us as a people, we so strong, we ineluctable about anything and everything. We know how to overpower just ignore the fact of the damage that they trying to do. And it just don't make any sense to me personally why they feel they can just pump deity into our hearts. But, you know,
Deity.
What was the
That's
perception, as you would say, from residents out in the St. Charles area?
You know, it was scary. It was kind of frightening. We don't know the area very well. We don't really know the people from the area. We don't know how they're going to retaliate with what's going on. So we didn't know if it would make its way out to St. Charles or if it would just stay where it was. You know, at first it was just kind of, it's a bad situation, and then it slowly got worse. So being in St. Charles, we weren't terribly affected by it.
Okay. So as far as, you know, like I said, it's been a year and what have you, and the talk is, you know, black on black crime, because we protest the police shooting of an unarmed black man for whatever reason, and whether people perceive it as being right or wrong, injustice, immoral, you know, criminal acts of what Mr. Wilson did. But the perception, again, you know, was viewed, and comments, I've had comments directed toward me as far as, well, he probably deserved it. And when I say this, and I'm only saying it because I have another race here in front of me, a Caucasian woman here in front of me, and what have you heard, you know?
Why does law enforcement feel that their cops are above and beyond, that they're innocent? Because as people, like my sister was saying, we do have to come together, because being hostile brings nothing but a lot of chaos. And as you see, we have these young black men here. Not everyone is a criminal. Not everyone's walking the street sagging. They're all doing something positive. We're trying to make a better movement for our people as one. And I don't have too much to say. I don't want to speak too much, but that's basically what all I have to say.
Okay. Well, no, that was perfect, because
your constitutional right. But as of October 10th last year in Missouri, anybody could walk around legally with a gun. Is what is stated. You know, it's back to the constitutional law. Now, without people knowing this, you got a whole bunch of people still getting shot for having guns when legally, Constitution, they're allowed to.
So basically, you're saying it's a sense of entrapment.
It's more than a sense of entrapment, because also with them passing, you know, lifting the.
Join us here on the AIB Network Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. for a straight talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted. Host Roger Hunt will explore the lives of others in many arenas of our society with discussions that will inform, inspire, encourage, and enlighten those who we interact with in our daily lives. Featuring hot topics in the news, experts in their field, intimate interviews, and great entertainment. Join us for Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted on the AIB Network Thursday nights at 8:30.